All right. Hopefully, my husband is not too loud in the background. He's out in the living room on the phone with his cousin talking pretty loudly. I have the door shut. So, anyway, I want to record this before I go back to work this week 'cause it's going to be a busy week. And I wanted to get this kind of intro story and intro to the course out there because I just published the website today and I've already started to direct people towards it. So, I do want to get this course kind of going, and I wanted to tell my story of my path on this truther movement. I apologize, I'm a little hoarse today. I'm gonna try and get through this. So basically, I grew up a hippie liberal in the San Francisco Bay Area on the peninsula, and I worked for a couple different corporate jobs after college. I was a business marketing major. Felt drawn to go to corporate after I graduated, and each job though, like I would give it about a year and I would just feel like my soul was suffocating. So after moving to about 3 different jobs, I just started doing some soul searching, and like I went for a hike in the woods, and I remembered a college professor saying to me, figure out what it is you would do if you weren't getting paid and make it your passion. Everything else will fall into place and the money will follow. So on this hike, I'm like, okay, if I didn't have to go to work tomorrow, what would I do? And I decided, I'd probably go for a hike again and do some yoga. So this led me on the path to researching yoga teacher training programs. And I ended up finding one that was really calling to me, and it was in Costa Rica. And friends of mine had gone down there and told me, Kristen, you would love it. You would absolutely love Costa Rica. And so it was on my bucket list. And so I started looking at flights, and I found a round trip flight for like $316 or something. So I was like, that's it. That's the yoga teacher training I'm gonna do. And so I ended up going down there. I fell in love with Costa Rica. I stayed down there for about 4 months. And when I came back, I did go back to corporate again, but I went to a company. It was called Care2, tagline Make a Difference. And it was like right up my alley as this hippie liberal yoga teacher who wanted to save the world. I was super passionate about doing beach cleanups and that kind of thing. And this company was all about educating people about using green cleaning products and like educating people about living sustainably and raising money for nonprofits. So anyways, I was like doing well while doing good in the world. And like, I was really proud of that job. I loved my coworkers. I loved the company culture. I loved everything about it, but it didn't change the fact that I was stuck in an office, and I just would look out the window from that office and be like, there's a whole world going on out there and I'm stuck in here. So I was kind of suffocating in that role, but I did learn a lot there. I was introduced to the documentary Loose Change while I worked there. So I woke up to 9/11. I was introduced to the idea of chemtrails and these planes spraying the sky. And I remember asking a coworker at the time, what's up with this spraying of the skies thing? And he's like, oh, it's some guy in grandma's basement wearing a tinfoil hat. Like, he totally wrote it off. But I was so passionate about like saving the environment that I couldn't ignore that if they are spraying chemicals in the sky, like that's not a good thing, right? And here they're telling us like don't eat meat because cow farts are killing the world. I mean, yeah, it was that bad. So anyway, I ended up leaving that job because I got a job offer to teach yoga down in Costa Rica, and that was my dream, to go back there and have a job making money while I'm there. Like, perfect. So threw all my stuff in storage. I went down to Costa Rica. Ended up doing that for like a year and a half, and then when I came back, I was like really, really missing seasons in my life. I just like wanted to roll around in the snow. And so I interviewed for a job in Lake Tahoe on Skype, like from Costa Rica, decided I was moving to Tahoe. On my way home, I I ended up like pinching my neck. So, like something went out in my neck from carrying the heavy backpack that I had. And so I was like laid up on the floor, nobody home to help me. And while I was laying there, I'm like, "God, I just feel like I really need an elbow in there." And that's when like the light bulb went off that, I want to be the elbow. So I ended up going to massage school, which my yoga teacher training had included Thai massage in it. So I'd already had like a little bit of an intro to it. And so I ended up going to massage school, ended up moving to Tahoe. And then fast forward a few years, I met my husband, and he was awake to also the chemtrails. And so that was kind of cool, like, because we had that in common, but like we both still weren't awake to all the rest of the corruption and elites and the Illuminati and like all that stuff. No, we just were like aware that like when he was young, he's born and raised in Tahoe. When he was young, it was bluebird powder days all the time, and then they started spraying, and he watches them stripe the sky, and then he watches a couple hours later, it's completely overcast, not a coincidence. And so just from his own senses and watching it, he knew it to be true in his heart. And then I even started looking it up. They were calling it cloud seeding back then. Now you can look it up, geoengineering. There's a place right over in Reno. They've cut back, so maybe these Doge cuts have cut some of their funding, because now they seem to just do it on Thursdays, which is weird. But we're watching and documenting and paying attention to it. So anyway, the next thing that I woke up to was Las Vegas. When that Las Vegas shooting happened, I've been to Vegas a bunch. I live in a casino town. I know casinos. I know there's eyes in the sky everywhere. And when they just kept showing this generic narrative on every single channel, and one foggy picture of the guy from like 2 weeks earlier at a blackjack table or whatever it was, I was like, there's no flipping way that there's no other footage. This is insane. And every channel was parroting the exact same story, and it infuriated me. I remember just being like, are there no real journalists anymore? How is nobody like asking anything about the parking garage, nobody's asking any questions. It's all just the same story being regurgitated on every single channel. And I was searching and searching everywhere I could online. I didn't know about like the dark web. I still don't really know. I didn't know where to look. I spent 3 days searching, getting really frustrated before just kind of giving up. I was not awake to the Q thing when that started coming out later that month. I just kind of checked out again, and just we don't really watch the news anyways, so I just wasn't plugged in. And then 2020, we gave up winters. That was 2017 when Vegas happened. And I went to Vegas like 3 days later. I happened to have a business trip there. And I went to the site where they had the memorial. I actually was in the paper for doing yoga at the memorial site. And anyway, so yeah, Vegas did not sit well with me. Then we gave up winters in Tahoe in 2018. And we've been going down there ever since. So we were in Costa Rica on our property when all the 2020 stuff happened. And we both were completely awake to it instantly. Like my husband and I, completely awake. I don't know if it was something about being in another country and having all the airports closed and all the planes grounded and all of that. I don't know if that helped accelerate our awakening, but we instantly knew, no fucking way, that every country's just on the same page now. Like, what? This sounds like a one world order, right? So that's what then sent me down every single rabbit hole I could possibly go down, because we had all the time in the world too. Our business was instantly shut down. All the businesses in town were shut down. There was nowhere to go to eat. Like we were like stranded on top of a mountain. So anyway, in going down all those rabbit holes, I eventually found myself like on the freedom movement. Well, I mean, right away I was like ordering the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, that kind of thing, because I was in a different country where I didn't know my rights, and I was feeling really frustrated about that. So when I got home, I just wanted to like know my rights in the US. So in Costa Rica, you didn't have a choice. Like you had to wear a mask, and there was no just disobeying like you could in the States. So I was really happy when we got back to Tahoe. I did not mask in Tahoe, and I got called out. I lost friends. I had like a friend who had gone to his wedding, like yelling at me in a post office, Kristen, where's your mask? Where's your mask? Like it was, I don't even understand those people, and I never will understand that. And I used to be a hippie liberal, but I would never treat anyone like that. So I don't know. Anyway, then I got the UCC Connection book. That's a really good one. I'm going to link to it, and highly recommend that you start there. Just start with the UCC Connection to kind of wake up to what this whole status correction thing is about, and the passports and all that. So now that you kind of know the background of my story, we still have our properties in Tahoe, we have our place in Costa Rica. We're doing this like double life. It's really hard to live in two different countries, so we're wanting to not do Costa Rica anymore. And I will say the trauma of being down there for 2020, like, it's probably part of that. But anyway, I also wanted to give you guys kind of an outline of what I want to go over in the next few courses. I don't know if this will be the exact order, but just so you know what's coming down in the pipeline. So I definitely think like the first step in this movement is your passport. For me, it took me over a year because of this whole two different countries thing. And I'm going to highly recommend you don't drag your feet like I did. Just get your passport card done, because it helps launch you into the rest of this. So passport card and correcting your status is number one. So I'll definitely be doing more videos on it. I already have one out there that I can link in the description. Two out there, I think, that I can link in the description that can get you started. I got more information on the website, which is statuscorrection.org. Next one, driver's license and registration. There's lots of different ways to do this, folks. And so I'm going to give all the different options, because I rescinded my driver's license and registration, and I know that that's not for everyone. You don't have to do that, by the way. And especially if you need to rent cars and stuff, I actually don't recommend that you do that. But I do recommend that you go down and you sign your contract differently. That's where you need to correct it. And then once you have that signed differently, you can still produce your driver's license, and then I can coach you on how to respond to certain questions if you are pulled over and have an interaction with law enforcement. Okay, next, conditional acceptance. So I have used this with success. A conditional acceptance is where you stay in honor. You're basically, and staying in honor is a huge thing when it comes to courts and fines and everything, right? So you don't want to argue. That's going into dishonor. And this stuff's biblical, guys. It like says in the Bible somewhere, I forget which, I'll have to look it up and give the verse, but it says like, if you're in trouble with the law, you better like make friends as you're going into the courthouse, kind of thing. So conditional acceptance, what you say is like, I totally agree. I'm happy to pay this fine if you can prove A, this, B, that, and you keep it simple and keep emotions out of it. I made the mistake on the second one that I did, that I let emotions get in there, and I put too many different requirements, and it backfired. So keep it short, keep it like two different things that they need to prove. If they can't prove them, and if they send you back this is where I messed up too. When they sent me back something saying, we don't accept your conditions, well, then it's done, it's thrown out. And I didn't realize that. And I was trying to help my dad. My dad like didn't listen to me on don't pay the fine. He still paid the fine. So anyway, so there's that. Tax forms. Oh yeah, so I'll give you the list of the different tax forms that you're going to want to order from the IRS, and you basically just want to build up your kind of arsenal of things, of tools that you can use to fight back on liens and other sort of different financial situations. And then I want to talk about private versus public, and maybe this one will come up in the list a little bit because this is like the passport status stuff. So basically, United States of America, all caps, is a corporation. State of California, corporation. City of South Lake Tahoe, caps, corporation. They're all corporations, right? And they've turned us into a corporation because you can't contract between a corporation and a human, breathing, living being. It has to be like corporation to corporation. So that's why all your bills that come to your house in your name are in all capital letters. That's not actually you. And that's where the UCC book that I mentioned will go into, and like there's books on learning about your straw man. There's controversy over whether a straw man is like the right terminology to use, but it's a Susquehanna trust. So basically what they have done is when your parents registered your birth and got you your birth certificate, that social security number they gave you then became your trust that they have been like trading on your whole life. And so the banking system is so fraudulent and so corrupt. So anytime you get a loan, they hit up your trust. So your loan is paid off instantly as soon as you sign that paper, because we haven't been taught how to sign things correctly. So we are basically just like signing it open-ended, and then they're going and putting their rubber stamp on it and signing it correctly and going and obtaining that money. And then they're double dipping by getting you to keep paying it, because they don't teach us any of this in school on purpose, because they want us to be good little slaves that go to work every day and double pay for everything and stay in this trapped system. So I touched on the all caps name. That'll probably be like a whole episode kind of thing in this course on addressing the all caps name and what it really means and how to start flipping the script and using it to your advantage. One thing I forgot to mention in all of this, and it's here right close to my heart, I was very vocal on social media in 2020 when the world was shutting down, and I saw right through all the lies, and I was saying question everything. God started speaking to me in numerous different ways. It was actually really cool. Came through speakers, like songs that I'd like heard that song a bunch of times. The words changed, like give me messages. One day it was like control of my computer was taken over, and I was just getting like all kinds of messages like given to me in all different platforms in weird ways. There were all kinds of things. So that was happening. So I started to read the Bible because I didn't grow up with religion at all. We had some Bibles like around the house, but we never read them or anything. And sadly, my mom, like, she took it really hard that I was going down this path, and she was like reaching out to friends, like worried about me. And my parents didn't see the same way as I did. They were just like, it's best just to comply and go along with this. And I was like, no way. And sadly, she didn't heed my warnings on the vaccine. And I don't know if saying that word gets me in trouble on YouTube, but yeah, she got the thinger, and sadly she passed away suddenly in July of 2022. So that's been like a major loss and change in our lives, but also a major driver for me on figuring out this system and teaching others. So that's part of my passion for being here, and why I wanted to create statuscorrection.org, why I wanted to create this YouTube channel, which if you watch our YouTube channel, you'll see it's kind of a mismatch, like some of it's travel. And that's mainly because I escaped corporate 15, 16, 17 years ago. And I got time freedom. And now I'm on a mission to figure out like true freedom and learn our rights and help others to escape the matrix, basically. And so that's my story. I'm Kristen. This course is going to be kind of similar to the Contract Killer course that Brandon Joe Williams has out there, but what I found with his Contract Killer course is that it was like information overload. It was way too much, and it was day after day after day. And by the end of like the 37, 40, whatever videos, like I just was like, I have to start it over and do it again to like actually get all of that and like be able to take action. And then when I tried to go back and watch his videos, they were too long and too like slow. He does a lot of scrolling. So I love your videos. Thank you, Brandon, for sharing what you've shared and for helping inspire me to try and do the same. So I hope to give you guys some great content that's digestible and in like little nuggets and make them actionable. And I don't totally know what I'm doing. I haven't learned how to screen share yet. So I've got more homework to do before I can deliver a great course to you guys, but I'm going to be working on it. And something that Brandon Joe wanted to do, I also want to do, and I don't know if he's really done it yet, but like he wanted to have like a 2.0 course and like an advanced, and I think he just kind of ended up redoing his first course. And so I hope to build on it too. And like maybe the first course will have more information, and then the next one will be more the bite-sized of get it done, like the to-do list, because that's really what I was craving once I got this done. So that's where I'm at. More that will be on here that's just not really in this first phase will be trusts, because I haven't figured out trusts yet. Getting an EIN number, I'm working on that. Definitely the breakdown of the IRS forms once I figure all of that out. And yeah, I think that's just where we're at for now. And then as more comes up, I'll give an update. All right. Thanks, guys. And I look forward to sharing this information with you and being there alongside for your journey. Thanks.